Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode number 5.
Number 5, yes.
Of our first-time homebuyer series, spring series. We are so thankful to be here today on this beautiful lake. It's a beautiful day out here. And we want to say special thanks to our host, Uncle John, our beautiful videographer's uncle, who is John Hoyt, who has done quite a bit for our community, done a lot for our Omaha community.
Absolutely.
And is so gracious to let us use this beautiful space here today.
So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Uncle John.
Yep.
And so here we are on this beautiful lake, Timber Shores. And a little known fact, I actually represented the original developers of this lake many moons ago. And it's really fun to see how much it's filling in with homes and beautiful homes out here.
Yeah, this is exactly why I love working with you. And why anybody honestly should work with you, because you have there's so much rich history that you were part of when it comes to this community. So like, I honestly probably could go to any location, be Jen, have you been here? Yep, I knew this person, I know this builder. So that's awesome. This is why it's important to pick the right realtor, the right person to work with.
Thank you for that. And yeah, I think actually Danielle, our beautiful videographer, his core girl, anytime I start a story, it goes into another story and rolls into another story, and all of a sudden we're way off of center. But hey, there was a lot of fun stories in there about real estate through the years.
Yep.
And people, because we love people and,
absolutely.
And love all the stories that we get to
Absolutely.
make with you guys. So
yeah. Well, so let's get into episode 5, and just a big build up. Every episode that we've been doing has been great, but today what we're going to talk about are more on the budgetary side, like what new homeowners or prior homeowners that are getting in, what they can expect. How can they budget for the future? How can they budget for the now? So one of the questions I wanted to ask you right off the bat is, what are those things maybe that new homeowners or just any homeowner in general maybe catches them by surprise initially when they're getting into this home?
Yeah.
What do you think that would be?
Yes, budgeting is very important, especially when buying a home. And so the question about surprise costs, that's a good one. I would say, and I'd like to, 2 reasons I want to talk about this, because it's a surprise cost, but it's also a very important cost in that to explain, in that you get it back. So what I'm talking about is part of your closing costs as a first-time home buyer, or a home buyer, I guess, who is getting a mortgage to purchase the home. That you will have some closing costs that are called escrows. And those escrows are often a pretty high number. But what is happening is the bank who has given you the mortgage is collecting upfront taxes, so real estate taxes that you're going to pay in the future, and upfront insurance that you're going to pay in the future. So it's really just kind of like a little savings account. You get that back.
Yes.
But it is a pretty big number that is somewhat unexpected, especially by first-time home buyers. But the important thing I always like to let them know is that is your money. It's coming back to you. And the bank does reconcile that the escrow account at the end of the year. So you might get that money back even before. Most of the time they collect too much money. And so you get it back, a nice little Christmas present at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So,
and actually I didn't just close on this home, but this actually just happened to me this year. And I'm wondering, why did I get this money back? So you are right. I love that you said that. And maybe could you add to that? What goes into an escrow account? So like you're talking about this as like a little mini savings, but what's being paid out of there?
So again, if you get a mortgage, most banks will collect 4 things from you in your monthly payment. Principal and interest, that is for borrowing the money, and then taxes and insurance.
Yes.
And then they pay your taxes and insurance for you. That protects them, that protects you, that protects the property.
So the escrow account is actually very common for homeowners to use and for that money to be paid out.
Correct. Yes. Very common when a home buyer is using a mortgage company or a bank to mortgage the home. Now, cash buyers, completely different story. And so you are then in charge of making sure your taxes are paid on time, making sure your insurance is always up to date. I know you on the insurance side probably, do you have kind of like a checks and balances if you know somebody is falling behind in their insurance premiums, or does that happen very often?
It doesn't, more or less just because the bank is actually the one who's paying for it.
Right.
So we love the escrow accounts because it's paid once for the year and you're done.
Right.
And if we're talking, I guess, about discounts too, the homeowners that don't have the escrow account, if they're just going to pay that, I would just recommend another discount for you is the paid in full discount. Every insurance company offers that. Now, if you're a first-time homeowner, I don't necessarily know if maybe that would work for your budget to pay that in full because you have so many other costs that are going into it.
Right.
But
if you do have the means to pay in full, does that mean pay the whole year?
For the whole year.
The whole year. Okay.
The whole year. So
and
you think about it once,
pretty good
and
discount.
you won't. Yes, you do. Yeah. I mean, the number ranges. I would say maybe the average is about 5% on that. So can you, for the homeowner, do they have an opportunity maybe prior to closing or leading up to that closing cost, attempt to negotiate certain things to try to keep the budget more in their favor?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Buyers are now more than ever able to negotiate things like inspections and closing costs. So in a home purchase, a seller is allowed to credit to the buyer some of their proceeds towards their closing costs.
There you go.
Escrows, down payments, future taxes, future HOA dues. I used to represent a big condo building, and they had very high HOA dues. So that's a month. It could be like $3,000 to $5,000, almost as much as your insurance annually. So if we had extra money to spend from the seller, then we could put that towards future HOA dues. So.
And I love that. Something that I always tell my customers: there's no right or wrong answer. I think even with when we talk about like negotiating or whatnot, it's what are you willing to sacrifice at the end of the day, right? If you're comfortable with this, then you're all okay with maybe taking less here or doing that. Now, I will say, even in our first episode when we talked about this good experience versus bad experience, I think this is another reason why it's key to work with somebody that has good experience, because as you mentioned, I think with the amount of time that you've been in real estate, you've been able to see things that probably a lot of other realtors haven't been able to experience. So you can catch that and then be able to explain and show that to the customer. Hey, here's forward thinking, something that you might want to plan for, which then leads me into my third question. New homeowner, most of the time you want to get in and you just want to start making it your own. Okay. So kind of talk to me, maybe the kind of least expensive things that you can maybe as a first-time homeowner look to do in a home, and then down the road. And I say that because maybe if they're looking at purchasing it, hey guys, great home, this is not a big concern, but maybe you can start planning for this in the next 3 to 5 years to get it fixed or upgrade. Right. What would those be?
I'll give you actually expand on that a little bit.
Okay.
So more higher end improvements and more cost effective. Cost effective. There we go.
Yep.
So cost effective. I always say paint, because paint can change a room. It can change a home. It can change a curb appeal, and it's fairly inexpensive. And it's not, cheap, but it's fairly inexpensive way to improve interior, exterior, add some style, add some color, take away some color that is a little too much. And so I would, one very cost-effective way to just kind of instantly make that home feel fresh and like, oh, this is mine, I picked this color, would be painting. And then, people love, the brand new fresh kitchens, brand new fresh primary bathrooms. Those are a little more on the non-cost effective, more expensive side. For remodeling. With a kitchen, you're looking at anywhere from $25,000 to $75,000 plus. Master bathroom, $25,000 to $50,000 plus, depending on the size. But those type of things, that may be something that you're planned for. That I would talk with a first-time home buyer about planning for that in 3 to 5 years. How to save for that and how to accomplish that. Yeah.
another way to maybe kind of keep things kind of cost effective. It's warming up. The sun's out today, and you may not know, but it's a little hot. So I think about fans.
But we're staying cool.
Yes, we are. But I think of like even a home where maybe there's a lack of fans.
Yeah.
That could be something that's cost effective, and it kind of keeps it a little bit cooler during the warmer months. So that's something that you could do. This is actually something that we offer through even our brokerage, and I think you're going to get to this here, this next one anyway. But when we talk about even utilities, cost of utilities, I think that's obviously something you should prepare yourself for of what it's going to be. But part of the broker that we work with Goosehead is they actually work with a company that actually shops all those things out for you. The utility, the gas. So if you're living in a bigger area, you don't have to worry about trying to go out and find that. We will find it for you.
Oh, that's
and we
really
actually
cool.
provide all the documents. Here you go. This is where you need to send it. This is where you need to fax it or whatever it may be. Knocks it out. And we try to make the process just a lot more smoother so that way you can continue to keep planning.
That's really cool.
Yes.
I didn't know you guys had that just for first-time home buyers, or is that
that's for
anybody?
Okay. Anybody. And I'll say this too, because we can't help everyone. Anybody that would tell you that they win 100% of the business, I'd say that's hard to believe. Nobody can. No one's perfect. But even for those that maybe were not able to help quote-wise on that home, we still offer this for them, regardless.
You guys are so cool.
Yes. So
they are just such a giving company.
Yep.
And I'm so glad you're with them because it really fits, your heart and your your style of business. That's really cool. Are there any, or what are some key factors in a home that a buyer should be looking for, a first-time home buyer, that may give them insurance discounts or discounts towards their insurance?
Well, the one obvious one is always bundling. So bundling, and we'll kind of bring this down to like the foundation. Bundling is bringing more than just your home, but it's typically your auto. Okay, so when you package those together, every carrier is going to give you a bundle discount.
Okay.
Now, the more that you have with the carrier, you get into different discounts. So let's say if you have 2 vehicles, somebody who has 2 vehicles versus somebody who has 5 vehicles will get a multi-vehicle discount. Okay. Let's say you have an RV. Let's say you have a boat. Let's say you have toys. Okay. Yeah. you have toys. So the more of those things that you have, it'll give you a greater discount. So umbrella policies, which that might be even something we talk about later down the road too. I'll describe it as your safety net for liability. Okay. But if you purchase an umbrella with some carriers, that's a discount. But another one that I would say that most commonly people don't know is early quoting. So if we're talking about just offers been accepted, you want to move through this home, the quicker that you can get the information to an insurance broker, okay, most of the time, especially with our carriers, they'll give you a discount for early quoting.
Oh, wow.
Now, 2 things why that's going to be important. Number one, if we're talking about wanting to keep things smooth through the whole process, we'll be able to look at any claim history. Benefits them because if it's something down the road they have to plan for, hey, this has been damaged or this has been not fixed, how is it going to affect my future premiums when I do get it fixed? Okay. And then I just mentioned it too, just early quoting. The further out that you are, whether 30 or 60 days, it benefits you long term. Okay.
So the sooner the better.
The sooner the better. Absolutely. The sooner the better. Yeah, the sooner the better. So.
And are there any things that a buyer should be looking at? Any major, like what's the number one thing they should be looking at with a home that they're thinking about buying that could either help or hurt them with insurance?
Roof.
I was going to say probably roof.
The roof is going to be the biggest one. And beyond that though too, I would say discounts that you should also be talking to is if there's any, technology now is almost in every home. So security systems. So if there's anything that is professionally monitored, double check with your carrier, make sure that you have that already included on your home. The second one that I would also say is, and this is going to actually tie into the utility question that I have here for you too, water shutoff valve system, an automatic one. Now, I believe you had mentioned to me a while back that some builders now actually include this feature in homes?
Yes, this
Okay.
is it's newer technology, I
Yeah.
believe, but because builders are getting discounts from insurance having
Yes.
but let's explain a little what that it is exactly. It's a technology that's on your main water
It is.
shut off. Okay.
Yes. So once it senses that there's a leak or there's a break, not power, but the water shut off to the whole house.
That's awesome.
Now, why would an insurance company give you a discount for that? Well, it stops you from having to submit a claim. So
for a flooded basement, or say the water's running.
Absolutely.
Dishwasher.
Absolutely.
Or a second floor laundry washer
And
running through 3 or 4, levels of the home. That would not be good.
And let's say if you leave on vacation, and who knows how long that's been running. Yeah. So what I would say is preventative, anything with technology that can prevent future claims, make sure that you let your insurance agent be aware of that, because you might be able to get a discount.
That's great.
With that.
Now, would that include even like Ring doorbell or like a security system?
If they're
in certain cases.
If they're tied. So again, when we say professionally monitored, if something happens, are you getting the notification, or is like a central station, the fire department, police station receiving that call? So there's a difference there.
Okay.
There's a difference there. Right now, what do you think is the average for homes in certain price ranges? What is the average cost for those utilities?
So we were talking about budgeting, first-time home buyer budgeting, and budgeting beyond the purchase.
Yes.
So, what happens in month 1, 2, 3, 4? So we already know your mortgage company is taking care of your insurance, your home insurance, and your taxes. So don't have to worry about that. But we do have utilities, and we have home maintenance, care. So the big one's utilities.
Okay.
And I did run some numbers on utilities. So this is here locally in Omaha, and I ran 3 different price range of homes, what I call first-time home buyer range, that $250 to $400. Yes, that's first-time home buyer range now. It's crazy. And those average utilities, now we're talking water, sewer, trash, electricity, gas.
Okay.
Did I get everything?
Yes.
And are running $180 to $250 monthly.
Okay.
And then we go to kind of that middle range, that $400,000 to $600,000 home, and you're looking at more like a $400 to $500 per month cost on that. And of course, higher price point, bigger home, more to manage,
more energy.
Exactly. And more trash. I don't know.
It might be. Maybe. More to clean up.
And then I ran into the higher end homes. Now, the range there that you're seeing is newer homes are much more efficient than beautiful historic homes in the center of our city that we love. Just a little less efficient, but that's the range that you're seeing there. So higher end homes, that has a bigger range, because you could be looking at a $2 million brand new construction home, or a $2 million beautiful home in Fair Acres that is 150 years old. So that range is $500 to $700 a month plus, depending on the home and the size.
Is this something that a customer has to, or a client, I should say, a client has to pay for, whether they're working with you yet or not? So this information, because the way I guess I look at it is you provide so much added value that how many people actually want to spend the time to dig into the numbers. But I think that's your background too, from computer science.
Yes.
That you love. So talk to me a little bit about that.
I love facts. I love figures. Anytime, I love what I do, and I love to help out anybody who I possibly can. And even if they're not working with me, or they're buying, out of my licensed area, or just moving and needing some help, I'm happy to answer any questions. And I have, to your point, a lot of research like this just up here that I'm happy to help out with, or can point them in the right direction, or do a little research for them. In particular, when we're talking about research, facts, and figures and numbers, is one thing I will say as a first-time home buyer or a multiple-time home buyer, it's very important for your agent to run like an evaluation on the home that you are thinking about putting an offer in on. Couple reasons for that. One, you want to make sure you're not overpaying for the house, and it will help you best guide your how to structure your offer, because there's more than just the price in there as far as negotiation terms in the contract. So we might want to pay a little more but get some closing costs.
Absolutely.
Or pay less and then we'll take the house as is if you meet our price.
Trade-offs.
Yeah, absolutely. And then and also then most first-time home buyers, most buyers do have a mortgage that now we're going to the next phase of the purchase. Seller has accepted our offer. Now we call your bank, we send them the contract, they submit it to an appraiser. Appraiser comes and makes sure that the bank should give you this loan on this house. So I have that valuation to help them see that, and myself and hopefully the seller's agent work with that appraiser to make sure that accurate value is given to the appraisal, given to the bank, and ultimately given to you as our client.
Love that. And I think, and even as we're hoping and what we're seeing too with this market, speed is going to be key. And I think getting accurate numbers up front from an experienced agent is going to be important. Something that I'll add to that as well too is, when we talk about even discounts, the earlier that you quote, it benefits you. You shouldn't have to wait for a week or 2 weeks to even get a homeowner's insurance quote. You should be able to get that quickly.
So they can happen pretty quick.
It can happen. I mean, we'll put the numbers in. Even with Goosehead, this is the other thing why I chose them to work with them, is the speed of information. That once we put it in, we'll be able to shop out all of these carriers instantly.
Oh.
And so usually it's just the top 3 or 4 that we'll look at. But there's always a top runner at the very top. But the other thing I would say too, with even your information that you're sharing, is once we put the home into the quote, it also tells us about flood insurance. And what I mean by that is, are you in a flood zone? That's another thing that you would have to budget for, that most homeowners or no homeowner policy actually covers. So that would be in addition to what you're paying for the home.
Okay.
For insurance costs. So just being sure you know all the information up front, which is why I love this is what you do. I love that. So,
well, and this is so great to know that you're kind of also upfront working and giving, and that the buyer can get discount. And I know for a fact that you are always giving free advice because, because you love what you do and you're so knowledgeable and about insurance and about how to best approach it. Like you say, where, there's no, this is exactly how everybody should set up their insurance. It's like, hey, what's important to you? And you really take your time and work with people, even if they don't end up, you're like, you know what, that's a better deal over there, or this is a better deal over here, or, whatever the case may be. I love that you are so great at giving people information and just accurate, reliable, and trustworthy information.
Well, likewise. And at the end of the day, we don't necessarily look at just what the cost is, and even for homeowners, don't look at just what the cost is. Look at is what's being presented to you. Is it going to cover you for everything that you need? Is it going to benefit you? Does this meet and fulfill everything that your family needs?
Right.
And I always say that great leaders ask great questions. And so if somebody isn't asking you questions and giving you the opportunity to choose, then I question what that motive is.
Absolutely.
This is still a business where we deal with people. And so let's look at people as people.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day.
And value those people. And even if you're not going to win that business, or I'm not going to win that business, we want to make sure that you're informed and that you feel, safe and trust that you can move forward. Yep. Whichever way you decide to go. But of course, we would love to work with you.
Absolutely.
So call us anytime.
Yeah,
Literally.
Yeah, anytime. Anytime. And I'll leave with this. One additional thing I guess I wanted to mention too is there are times where we may not be able to help everybody. And there are some times where maybe we can't do both the home and auto. So I would say there are instances where it may not benefit the client to do everything, but with our carriers, we can still offer a discount, or not offer a discount, but we can still be able to insure just the home itself. There are restrictions with certain carriers where they won't allow you to do that.
Oh, interesting.
You have to have both home and auto.
Now, are there any situations where bundling would be the way to go? Bundling would be is not the best option?
Yes. When we're talking about those beautiful historic homes.
Yes.
So it's trade-offs, right? Some carriers don't want to accept that type of risk. Some will, but you may pay more for it. So I think at the end of the day, as long as we educate and we inform well, we put the power back in the client's chair,
right,
to make that decision. So we won't say it's wrong or right to purchase this home. What is it that you want? You know, what are you willing to give up to be able to be in this beautiful home, right, and start a family? You know, whatever it may be. So, I just want to tell you this. You epitomize what I've wanted out of this, and I really hope for all you that you've seen the heart that she has and the amount of work that she puts into this. We do this at a love for you. We do this just to be able to share with you guys and hope that you guys can take this and use this to your benefit.
Absolutely, 100%. And I so appreciate you saying this. And I just, you came to me with this idea, and I mean, it's just become such a, a thing, and it's a great thing. And we're not done.
We're not done. We're not done.
You're not getting rid of us yet.
No.
And we're having fun doing it.
Yes, we are.
And we're so thankful to be, have this partnership and be able to work together and just be able to trust each other and learn and teach you guys.
Yeah.
So
we're learning it, and I hope you guys are learning too.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So I think we'll leave it there for today.
Sounds good. And another shout out to our generous host, John Hoyt with Hoyt Enterprises, and this lovely view we've been able to look at today.
Yes, thank you.
And I am Jen Bennett, with your forever agent with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services.
And I'm Jose Dimas with Goosehead Insurance, making insurance simple on purpose. Thank you guys.
Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.
We'll see you.